So are you a homeschooling parent looking to diversify a bit the education you give to your kids, wanting to introduce some more social, hands-on activities, maybe some discovery field trips? Well, that's exactly where I was a few months ago. So let me share with you some of the recommendations I have and tips on how to get started. Because once you get started, then it's just gonna keep rolling. So I am Anne, the little Frenchie in Big Texas. Welcome to my channel. I am the mom of two twins, 8 years old, going on to 3rd grade, which for now have been homeschooled mostly at home without too much social activity. And that's something I wanted to enlarge this year, get them out of the house with more interaction with other kids and a bit more fun things to do than just reading, writing, math, history, and so on. So how did I get started? Because I didn't know initially where to start. So I talked to other homeschooling moms through YouTube, actually, other channels, and they all recommended to me to first look into Facebook and the internet. Do a search to look for homeschooling moms, homeschooling groups in the area, local area, which I did. So I live in Houston, agreed, so big city. But what I'm going to tell you here applies as well to other places, things you can look for, whether it's a big city or not. But it is true, a big city might help get more activities organized and more groups, more people pretty much. So I found this group on Facebook that's called, I think it's Greater Houston Area Moms, or Moms Greater Houston Area, something like that. They also have a website and they share quite a bit of information, including potential field trips. So that's also the disadvantage of the big city, because once it's shared, it gets filled up very quick if you just have a few spaces. So it's pros and cons here of the big cities, but it gives you ideas. It definitely does. And also look for, if you got a local co-op, homeschooling groups. If you have a church, Christian church, very often they promote some homeschooling activities as well. So all these are, just try to hook up with local homeschoolers, homeschooling parents, maybe at the playground. If you go outside of the, well, actually during school hours, it's going to be homeschooling kids. So, and try to understand from more experienced homeschooling moms or dads, what they do, what activities, where to go. And that's how I got my tips, the first ones to get started. And something I looked for as well is some trips that would be not too expensive, free. And because it can sum up pretty quickly if you look at it. I mean, going to the zoo here, for instance, is easily $25 per person. And if you've got a family with 5 kids, with the 2 parents going, it is not a cheap homeschooling trip. But some of them are free, and that is what I looked for initially. So first, if you belong to such a homeschooling group, whether it's with the church, the co-op, on Facebook, you can always organize, or other parents organize, field trips, walk in the nature, playground together, all these completely free. So that's an option, definitely, for them to interact with other kids, having a fun time, maybe discovering nature, birds, trees, plants, easy thing to do. Another thing is look for the museums in your area, if you have any. Most of them offer a free day, maybe once per week, once per month, but they do. So it's not going to be reserved for homeschoolers. It's free for everybody, but you get to walk in and visit the museum without paying the costs, which once again can go up to $25 easy here in Houston. So here you have the 2 main museums I looked at, which is the Fine Arts and Natural Science. They both offer a day per week. So actually, the Fine Arts is a full day. It's Thursday. Every Thursday is free. The Natural Science Museum is only the afternoon. So Thursday from 2 to 5. And they have a limited amount of tickets. We were actually there this week at 2 o'clock. There was a line, but it wasn't too bad. But people come in, they had plenty of tickets. I think everybody got in for free between 2 and 3 o'clock, pretty much. But there is no activities designed just for homeschooling kids. You just walk in the museum and you are the one teaching your kids when looking at the dinosaurs and so on. Besides the museums, look for other activities or places to visit. So here we have a zoo and an aquarium, for instance. The zoo offers 1 free day per month. So it's the first Tuesday of each month, and you need to get the free tickets on the internet the Wednesday before, and I heard they go very quickly. So I haven't tried yet. It's a very good zoo. I'm planning on taking the girls later. It's just too hot right now for the zoo, but something to look for that day if you want to get free tickets. And once that's the same, it's not reserved for homeschooler. It's free for everybody without any dedicated activities. The other place is the aquarium. So for the aquarium, it is once per month as well. You have to pay, so it doesn't go as fast in terms of tickets, but it's dedicated to homeschooler, meaning they have activities and they also have classes. So that's actually our next trip. So I haven't done it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But as I said, it's not free, and if you take classes, you need to add, I think it's $10 per kid for each class. So something to consider. Something that's very specific to Houston, I think, is NASA and the Moody's Garden in Galveston. So NASA, I actually got the tip from another mom because I couldn't find their homeschooling day on their website. I really had to do a good search based on keywords to find it, and they do have 1 homeschooling day per month. So it's not free, it's discounted, and they do have activities as well dedicated for the homeschoolers. So I'm planning on registering. I haven't done it yet, but it's on my list for the fall. The Moody's Garden, same, they have homeschooling days, dedicated activities for the kids, and it's also, you have to pay as well. So I think it's discounted compared to their normal entrance, and totally dedicated for the homeschoolers, but not free. But you have to live close to Galveston here, because it is in Galveston. So just a few tips here, ideas on what to do around Houston or where you are, because there are museums everywhere. There are other zoos and aquariums and other places. Look for the local ranches, farms. We're getting in the fall. There's going to be some pumpkin patches, which are really fun. And if you go during the week, there might be some homeschooling days, or maybe some days that are reserved for groups, and you can form your own homeschooling groups and go there at a discounted price, for instance. So a few ideas. Here, looking at the greater Houston area, we have a historical ranch called George Ranch Historical Park, which is in Fort Bend, so southwest of Houston. And it is an awesome place to go for a homeschooler. They have dedicated homeschooling days, 3 per month, that you have to register and pay in advance. It's actually pretty cheap. I think it's $7 for the kids and $10 for the adults, and it's free if you live in Fort Bend County. And we just went. It was our first trip, and exceptional. I can only recommend. The 3 days per month are per generation. So we start with the pioneers, and then you have the different generation pretty much up to today, with their houses, and they show the kids how to cook outside on the wood stove. It's very hands-on, very well done, with almost actors who know how to teach kids. So very, very nice experience here at a very decent price. So just a few examples here. I'm still exploring. This is my initial list for the fall, but it fills up very quickly. And as I said, I mean, once you start one field trip, you get information for the next one. I was actually at that ranch 10 days ago talking to another mom who gave me the tip for NASA and other actually homeschooling activities, the Moody's Garden, and so on. So really word of mouth. Once you get started, just keep talking to other moms and get your next activities organized, and it's just going to keep rolling. But thinking about it, my very first homeschooling trip was here, Taste of Texas. So it's a restaurant on the west side of Houston, Memorial City, a steakhouse, pretty pricey. And the owner is a lover of Texas history, a very proud Texan, and she teaches people, kids, the history of Texas. And the whole place is literally a museum. She collects historical documents, pictures, and these are originals. I was impressed by the place and how much she has there. Very, very interesting just listening to her for 2-3 hours. Look at these guns. Some of them are actually worth a fortune. So very, very good experience, but only for older kids here. It was a bit tough for my 8-year-old to listen to Texas history for 2 straight hours, pretty much. But overall, I recommend as well. So I hope you found this useful. I will try to share some of our homeschooling trips, make some videos in the coming weeks, for instance, the George Ranch or the Natural Science Museum, just to share with you a bit of what we've seen. And if you have other ideas in your areas or here in Houston or elsewhere, please let us know in the comments below, share, and looking forward to reading it. So thank you all for watching.